What is up, YouTube? It's Mike, aka vVv Flash, and sorry for the delay on the second video. Sony Vegas just really decided to give me such a hard time. It took me like 2 or 3 tries to upload and render this, so it took a while to get up. This is a good gameplay you're going to see from me. This is Slums Hardpoint, obviously, Masters League play. And I go about like plus 30 using an MSMC, as you can see right now, and then I later on switched to an M8 to slay as I'm playing with some teammates, so I was more comfortable just slaying and whatnot. And today, for this video, I'd really like to take my time and talk about the new MLG Pro Point system. This last week, MLG has put in the new Pro Point system where they're basically just handing out Pro Points left and right for anything. So if you haven't seen, the Pro Point system works now where you get points for placing at an MLG event. Like first place gets 10,000 a player. So that's still the majority of where you're going to get your points. But now also you can get your points online. So say they're holding this new series. It's going to be called the MLG 2000 series. And every time they have a tournament in this 2000 series, the winner is going to get 2,000 points, and then they scale down from there, 2,000 points a player. So basically, you know, hypothetically speaking, if someone won all these online tournaments and things, it could really affect the standings and stuff, because they're going to give out in between events just as many points they're actually going to give out at an event. And I really just don't agree with that. I would like to hear what everyone else has to say. And I just have a few reasons why. First of all, I live in Arizona. I can't even play in these tournaments. The rules state it's basically the same rules as Canada. I live in a state or a country where the gambling laws don't allow me to play. The only way I could play before was it was considered an online qualifier for a LAN tournament that, you know, was going to be in a state that wasn't my own. So now that they're just regular tournaments, I'm not even allowed to play, and I just don't like that idea. I'm not playing on the circuit this season, so it doesn't really affect me. But there's a few pro players who live in my state who that's going to affect. Also, the big one is Canada. You know, there's a ton of pro players from Canada. You know, Sham on vVv is from Canada, Rambo and Karma on NV are from Canada, Goonjar from Canada, and you know it's really sad that these players put so much time into the game, and now they're not even going to be able to really compete in these. I know Hastro had already tweeted out that he was going to move Karma and Rambo into the NV house in North Carolina. Like he said that their visas were already processing, so those players, you know, can get that fixed. But not everyone has that luxury to just, you know, change where they live and play. And I really just think that that's dumb. Another thing they're doing with the pro points is they're giving them out in pro scrims, which honestly, if you're on MLG pro scrims, you don't need any more points, because you're obviously one of the top teams, and that's why you're on there, because people want to watch you play. So they're just handing out pro points left and right, and it's really, honestly, to me, just a way for MLG to make Monopoly out of Call of Duty and, you know, make sure all the attention in Call of Duty is on them. I think lately with Gfinity and upcoming this weekend with UMG and things like that, you know, MLG doesn't feel threatened, but they definitely want to make sure everyone knows that they're like the big dog in Call of Duty. And I don't blame them. You know, over the years, seeing as I've played on Game Battle since 2009, 2008 really, with Call of Duty 4, I've seen the activity in Call of Duty on Game Battles slowly decline, and I think now with PGL Pro Gaming League and UMG and Gfinity and all these 360 Icons tournaments that are real cheap or free, that, you know, MLG is losing some publicity. So this is their way of saying, like, hey, you know, being an MLG Pro is still like the most coveted thing you can be in Call of Duty. You know, that's why a lot of players started, just because they wanted to be pro. Now it's growing and there's so much money involved, things like that. But, you know, everyone wanted to be an MLG Pro, so they're kind of using that to get what they want. So they're going to bring everyone back. But I don't know. I just don't agree with how the point system is going right now. I just think they're making a joke of it. I really think they should say you should really have to only get points by traveling, staying with the team, going to the LAN event, and placing well on a fair stage. I don't know. There's Warriors online, as everyone knows, and I just don't want to see the game come to this. And something I was saying earlier, though, is what if, hypothetically speaking, which I don't think is the case, but, you know, what if Call of Duty Call of Duty Ghost doesn't have LAN or something, and, you know, MLG already knows this and they're just trying to get you ready and stuff? That would make sense, but that's highly unlikely and things, and I just don't see why, with the developer support that we're getting right now, why we would ever depend on online tournaments for anything now, really. It just doesn't make sense. But that's all really I have to say about that. It's, you know, what can you do? whatever MLG does, honestly, everyone's going to bitch and complain, but everyone's going to keep doing what they say because they're still, you know, the guys who run the majority of the nicest tournaments for us and things like that. But anyway, back to the gameplay. As I said earlier, I go like plus 30 on this map. This is a pretty good gameplay, pretty decent gameplay. I've been actually trying to work on my next gameplay with the Steve site, but I just use the rogue camo and regular site here as I'm playing with some vVv community members. But definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think about my gameplay. Let me know what you think about the MLG Pro point system. See if you agree or disagree with me. It's always nice to get everyone's opinion out there. And you know, most of my videos are just going to be commentaries about basically anything. I'll talk about anything. I'm very friendly and outgoing, so I'll talk about anything. But if there's definitely something like this that's going on in the community, I'll definitely mention it and give my 2 cents and see where everyone else stands. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. This is a more fast pace than the first S&D. That's what I'll try to get more of, is a lot of hardpoint and CTF. The S&D games are going to have to be really good, like the first one I posted, for me to do them, because I want them to be really fun to watch. So rate, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tweet it out. If you send me a message, chances are I'll reply and add you if you want to play. I'm just really trying to get my name out there, like I said, so help me out here. This is going to be my main focus until I get a new computer in October anyway. So I'm not going anywhere. Maybe down the line I'm going to end up streaming, hopefully, as soon as I get a new computer. That probably won't be till October, though. So, yep, help me out here. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.